This right here is a list of the Vancouver Canucks draft picks over the next 4 years. Now, on paper, this doesn't look bad. The Canucks have acquired multiple picks in the second and fourth rounds of the next few years. They have multiple sixth-round picks this year. But when it comes to maximizing value, you can say there are some pretty intriguing trades of the past that may have put the Canucks in a worse spot than they had anticipated. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the 2027 second round, because the Vancouver Canucks do not have their own second round pick. They have San Jose's second, which was acquired in the Kiefer Sherwood trade. They also have Dallas's second, which was acquired in the Tyler Myers trade. The Canucks getting 2 second-round picks in 2 separate trades was pretty good, because they need to rebuild, they need to focus on the future, etc., etc. But when you look at the fact that Vancouver traded their own pick away, this is where things get pretty intriguing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at a tweet made by Anthony Donati. He said here that the Chicago Blackhawks could potentially own 3 first-round picks in 2027. The Oilers and the Panthers as firsts, because the 2026 pick is top 10 protected. The Blackhawks also own one of the most valuable second-round picks in 2027, the Canucks' second, because of the Ilya Mikheyev trade. This could be in the 30s. Here is the trade we are paying attention to. The Chicago Blackhawks acquired Ilya Mikheyev, Sam Lafferty, and a 2027 second-round pick in exchange for a 2027 fourth. That's it. The Canucks attached a second-round pick to 2 guys in order to get rid of them. And I honestly understand that back when this trade was actually made on June 26, 2024, it was 2 years ago. The fact is, in 2024, the Canucks had no reason to believe internally that they were going to rebuild. At least, not so soon. Yes, you can say that Jim Rutherford, back in 2024, supposedly already had this idea in mind that Quinn Hughes was going to leave. Maybe there wasn't an idea floating around of Pettersson and Miller fighting and totally destroying the dynamic of the Canucks locker room the next year. Maybe the Canucks were forced to rebuild sooner than would have probably been likely had everything just stayed peachy clean. But back in 2024, we weren't thinking about the 2027 NHL Entry Draft, and I'm pretty sure if you take a look at the video that we made talking about the Ilya Mikheyev and Sam Lafferty and second-round pick trade, I would probably wager a bet that I said similar things back then too. Hey, it's 2027, it's in 3 years, who cares about that? Well, it's 2 years later, 2027 is a year away, and the Vancouver Canucks are a bad, bad team. We've been talking all this talk about the 2026 NHL Draft and how the Canucks are the worst team in the league. Well, guess what? Next season, they will be probably still bad, and they'll also probably still be in the Landon DuPont sweepstakes, thus projecting a similar number 1, number 2-ish caliber finish in the first round draft lottery rankings. Now, second round and beyond, there ain't no lottery in the second round and beyond, so obviously, if the Canucks are last place in the NHL in 2027, that second round pick of theirs is automatically 33rd overall, which means it automatically goes over to Chicago, and the Blackhawks will get one of the most valuable second round picks in the draft, along with potentially 3 firsts. Vancouver had just intentionally helped Chicago so much that this trade is one of the bigger and badder ones I'd think Canucks fans can pay attention to. And it's even worse when you look at what these guys are doing. Ilya Mikheyev is actually good now. He had 31 points in 78 Canucks games in his final season and 0 points in 11 playoff games. He infamously missed a wide-open net in Game 7 against the Oilers, which would have changed the entire narrative of that game. But the very next season in Chicago, he gets 20 goals. This season, he's got 28 points in 67 games. He is on pace for 32 points over 77. Ilya Mikheyev is legitimately useful in Chicago. And Sam Lafferty, well, he was a UFA to be in that time frame. He ended up re-signing with Chicago. He's got a contract till the end of this season, making $2 million a year. Yes, he doesn't produce, but Sam Lafferty, after getting sent over to Buffalo for a quick stint, ended up re-signing with Chicago. He's got 2 points in 26 games. Not very useful, not really a needle mover, but that second-round pick being potential first-round caliber quality, it is quite the steal for the Chicago Blackhawks. Literally. They traded a fourth-round pick to get a second, a useful player, and another player that inevitably re-signed with them in the offseason. So, with that said, it really goes to show you just how quickly things can turn. And for the Vancouver Canucks, this is one of these things where you look at just this draft list and you say, hey, it's good that they got an extra first, but if you're going to go down the path of a rebuild, this is where you start debating whether or not you prioritize the veteran leadership presence of guys that are older versus actually building with the pieces that you can develop and trade away for long-term pieces. Filip Hronek should not be on the Vancouver Canucks if you are purely focused on the future. He is the most valuable trade chip the Canucks have. It can probably get them another first-round pick. If you wanted to focus on next year, the Landon DuPont draft, that is also a very reasonable conversation to have. But this situation right here, trading away a pick that would inevitably be so good that you could technically say, hey, the 33rd overall pick, the first pick in the second round, that might as well be as good as a late first round pick. In a draft like 2027's, where there are a number of guys that are going to be notable and hopefully have bright NHL futures, not just Landon DuPont at the top of the draft. But with that said, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this entire idea here, that Vancouver might have just helped out Chicago in the most out-of-pocket 3-4 years later-ish type of way? We didn't expect this, but this is exactly what we have been greeted with. Ilya Mikheyev, Sam Lafferty, and a second for a fourth. Vancouver has helped out Chicago big time, and now that the Blackhawks are on this upswing, these first-round and second-round picks are looking like extra candy for them. In a world where the Vancouver Canucks kind of need it. They're starving. With that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Mikheyev trade just a few years later down the line. What are your thoughts on the Canucks' role in all of this, and whether or not they could have foreseen this coming, especially with the idea that Rutherford knew that Quinn Hughes wanted to leave? I'll never let that down, honestly. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.